Hey nerds, welcome to Goofy Joy Anime. Today we'll recap the 12-episode rom-com anime series from 2022 titled My Dress-Up Darling. So let's begin our recap without further ado. The story begins with a young boy named Wakana Goju who lives with his grandpa, a Hina doll manufacturer. Gojo enjoys playing with Hina dolls and constantly tries to create his own. Because of his obsession with Hina dolls, he doesn't talk to anyone and has no friends at school. Years go by and he's now a teenager, but he's still madly in love with Hina dolls. His grandfather is concerned for him because he has never seen him among friends. He's now an enthusiastic Hina doll maker. Gojo withdraws from society because of his hobby out of concern for mockery. He eventually meets his prevalent classmate Marin Kitagawa. During his after-school cleaning shift, Kitagawa shows up and they start talking. She advises him to be open and forthright about his real sentiments toward her. That night, Gojo mulls over what she said to him. His grandfather says he should now order a new sewing machine because the old one has stopped working. He orders a new machine, but rather than wait for it, he decides to use the one in his school's workplace. After some time, Kitagawa shows up and sees him working there. She praises him for his sewing abilities. She abruptly strips off her outfits and reveals to him a cosplay costume for a video game character she's been designing, which he unwittingly criticizes. Then, after expressing how important this character named Shizuku Kurue is to her, she requests that he create an outfit for her. Ignoring the fact that he has never created a real person's outfit, he agrees to assist her and promises to do his finest. She clarifies her eagerness to cosplay as Shizuku, a female character from the erotic video game Slippery Girls 2. When Gojo hears this from her, he's confused. She goes on to say that when someone appears to enjoy doing anything, their gender is irrelevant, and he admits. She then hands him a guidebook for creating cosplay costumes. The following day, an enthusiastic Kitagawa shows up unannounced at Gojo's store. He expresses concern about measuring her while she's naked, but Kitagawa strips off her outfits to reveal that she's wearing a bathing suit. He asks if she finds this awkward, to which she replies that she does not. He then discards his adulterated thinking and starts measuring Kitagawa properly. Gojo is flummoxed and struggles to measure her breasts despite his strong emphasis, but he ultimately succeeds in doing so. He then asks her if she has any citations for Shizuku so that he can work more efficiently, and she replies by giving him the titles of both Slippery Girls games. In the evening, much to his grandpa's utter shock, he uses the gameplay to learn more about Shizuku. Following the completion of those erotic games, Gojo has a wet dream regarding Kitagawa while sleeping. That day at school, he avoided her for most of the day. At the school's entrance, she finally locates him and invites him to accompany her to buy the outfit's necessary materials. But he politely declines her invitation. After some time, she runs into him once more, and he tells her why he's ignoring her. She reassures him that because they're close friends, he shouldn't be worried about this. Later that evening, they go to a ramen restaurant where they annoy the other diners by talking about the Slippery Girls games. As they're on their way back, she states that she needs the outfit in time for a cosplay festival that'll take place in 2 weeks. He worries because he realizes how little time he has. He becomes nervous, thinking he might not be able to finish the outfit in time for the upcoming cosplay event, which is in 2 weeks. When he returns home, his grandfather collapses after noticing one of Gojo's materials fall out. He transports him to the hospital where he's joined by his cousins Miori. The following day at school, he tells Kitagawa what happened to his grandpa. She expresses her sincere concern for him and promises to assist him in any way she can. So they share contact details. Gojo, who is worn out from all the tasks he had to complete, is upset until he recalls a conversation he had with his grandfather, which inspires him. The following morning, Gojo informs her that he has completed the outfit. She later reveals that she did not explain the scenario to him precisely. When Gojo hears this, he's comforted to know that he still has sufficient time to finish the outfit. However, she sobs uncontrollably and abundantly apologizes. Gojo subdues her by assuring her that it'll be worthwhile if she wears it. And then she wears it and is overjoyed to see that she's looking stunning in it. She requests that Gojo take some photos of her. For a good photograph, he asks her to pose like Shizuku. When she's satisfied with the image, she posts it on social media. After that, she informs him that they will go to the cosplay event together. When they get there, Kitagawa is giddy with excitement, while Gojo is calmer. Later, she's approached by many guests who want to take her photo. As he observes Kitagawa having a good time, Gojo starts to consider whether this will be their final get-together since his job is now finished. She then approaches him and says that the high temperature is making it difficult to wear the outfit. So they go inside to cool off and relieve her frustration. Having been restored, Kitagawa informs Gojo they will visit the concourse one last time before departing. She runs into the woman who had earlier requested a photo from her. She snaps a picture of her. On their way back, she asks him what cosplay they should work on next. He's relieved that this wasn't going to be their final meeting. He then compliments her on how lovely she's looking. Kitagawa is baffled as she recalls Gojo's earlier action in her tribute. Having recovered completely, his grandfather is now back home. He's astounded to see Gojo and Kitagawa conversing. Kitagawa discovers that she has grown to love Gojo. As they eat dinner, she discusses her family scenario and dubious dietary habits with him and his grandfather. The following day, a young lady comes into the store amid a rainstorm, and Gojo's grandfather extends an invitation inside. After an awkward initial encounter and misinterpretation, Sejua Inui ultimately informs Gojo that she wants to order a cosplay costume and reveals that she's Juju, the cosplayer Kitagawa had mentioned earlier. Kitagawa is awestruck by Juju's appearance when she gets there. In the course of their conversation, Juju mentions her willingness to cosplay as Shion Nakaido from the anime Flower Princess Blaze, of which Kitagawa is also a big admirer. When Juju inquires as to why Kitagawa doesn't prefer to cosplay as a Shion, she replies that their personal appearances do not coincide. Juju consequently grows to have the utmost reverence for Kitagawa as a cosplayer. Juju requests Gojo's contact details before departing. Later, she understands that Gojo and Kitagawa are not in a relationship. Juju turns down Kitagawa's offer to do a team cosplay until she and Gojo offer to divide the studio fees. To conduct research, Gojo chooses to watch Flower Princess Blaze. His grandfather congratulates him on his progress later that evening and urges him to continue honing his dressmaking skills. The following day, when he goes to Kitagawa's flat, he finds her looking unkempt. She suggests they should watch the series together. While watching the series, she realizes she has a housing date with Gojo. The moment her tummy starts to rant and rave, Gojo says he can't bring snacks for her. She, on the other hand, insists on preparing a home-cooked meal. Although things didn't go as anticipated, she's overjoyed when Gojo straightforwardly relishes her ami rice. Gojo calls Juju from his home and sends her his in-depth designs. When Juju learns that Kitagawa's costume was his first attempt at cosplay, she's surprised. She says her younger sister ends up taking her images, and they decide to meet at a cafe before they hang up. Moreover, once Gojo and Kitagawa meet the bashful and hesitant Shinju Inui, they're amazed by her enormous breast size and ravishing contour lines. After that, Shinju demonstrates the camera to Kitagawa and starts going over the various filters and setups that go into taking Juju's photos. They then go to the studio, which is housed in a defunct health center. Shinju exemplifies for Kitagawa the advantages of backlit images. Here, Gojo comes across the anxious Juju, and the two discuss their individual desires. When she explains why she ended up choosing him to make her cosplay attire, he recounts another discussion he had with his grandfather. He then gleefully grabs Juju's hand, sending her into a trance. Kitagawa extends an invitation to Gojo to the beach following their school finals. As soon as they arrive at the beach, they order burgers. Seabird steals the cheeseburger from Kitagawa. She receives a portion of Gojo's burger. After eating, she jumps into the water to go swimming. Gojo joins her and tells her that he had been too preoccupied with his hobby to enjoy the beach or any other location during his formative years. Kitagawa promises to take him to many places during their summer holiday. She then retracts her statement after realizing what she had said. She fuzzes about the circumstances in private before snapping a photo of Gojo. Gojo and Kitagawa return from the store carrying the supplies for the Black Lobelia costume. She then removes her clothing to reveal a swimsuit underneath, asking if it fits the cosplay. Shy Gojo assures her that it's good. He's pleased that Kitagawa can now enjoy the satisfaction of being beneficial. Later, he hands Kitagawa and Juju their finished outfits. While awaiting Gojo and Shinju, the girls go to the health center studio. When they do show up, Shinju surprises the girls by dressing as a man in cosplay. Then, in the flashback to the day they first went to the hospital, it is revealed that Shinju verified Gojo's assumption that she too wanted to dress up. When he consented to assist her, she confirmed that she wished to cosplay as Soma, a male protagonist from Flower Princess Blaze. Once Gojo had brought Shinju to his store, they learned about a beholder, which was a device to cope with Shinju's chest. Later, as they were applying Shinju's hairpiece and makeup, they had a discussion. Now, back in the real world, the entire team poses for a group photo. Kitagawa and Inui sisters pose for photos inside the hospital studio. Later, Shinju expresses gratitude to Gojo for assisting Shinju in realizing her passion for cosplay. After everything is over, Juju and Shinju are at their apartment, where Juju confesses to Shinju that she envies her for dressing up in such a cosplay. She then joyfully ogles some images in which Gojo is depicted. Here, Gojo is conversing on the phone with Kitagawa, and when he informs her that Shinju was at his home all the time, she becomes envious. Later, Kitagawa reveals her urge to cosplay as the character Veronica, who has brown skin, so they decide to create that dark skin effect digitally. The following day, Kitagawa shows up at his residence with her skin totally covered in makeup to resemble Veronica's skin tone. She humiliates him after she takes a bath by barring, all while demonstrating how to put on the costume. She brings him to the clothing store so she can buy him some clothes. Gojo tells Kitagawa on his way back that he's unable to assist her with Veronica's attire. She asks him why he can't, to which he tremblingly responds that it would be too personal. She entices him after feeling relaxed and promising to choose her personas more carefully the next time. The following day, she extends an invitation to Gojo to a manga cafe, but he feels clumsy around her. While passing the time, she shows the manga Suck IDK to Gojo and expresses her desire to cosplay as Liz the Demon Lord. She's unsure if she can succeed, but after Gojo gives her the push, she chooses to go for it. However, given the straightforward art style of the series, he finds it challenging to create the costume. Later, Gojo finds out that the studio Kitagawa reserved for the photoshoot is actually a love hotel. While imitating various manga poses, she eventually finds herself sitting over Gojo. After taking the photos, he overhears a couple having sex in the next room. As a result, he tries to get rid of Kitagawa. Instead, he squeezes her waist, causing her to moan and inadvertently flip off the lamp when she knocks the mobile against the switch. They exchange startled looks and almost kisses. But before they could even go any further, they received a phone call telling them they must leave. As he sits by himself in his room at home, Gojo thinks of Kitagawa. While assisting Kitagawa with her hair bows in her flat, Gojo learns that her father has revoked her permission to join a summer carnival because she has not completed her academic tasks. Later, she explains to him that she's been modeling for magazines to earn money for a professional camera. Following that, they both decide to watch a horror movie. Since he has never seen one, Gojo is frightened. But by the film's conclusion, he's analyzing the outfits while Kitagawa is still rattled. After some time, when they visit their school to get Kitagawa's math homework, she tumbles into the swimming pool, but Gojo prevents her from drowning. After completing her schoolwork, she invites Gojo to the carnival, and he is captivated when she arrives wearing a yukata. Together, they watch the fireworks, and when Kitagawa's feet hurt from wearing those sandals, Gojo brings her home. After watching another scary movie alone, Kitagawa calls Gojo from her home and tells him she needs to hear his voice because the movie has made her uncomfortable. When Gojo starts to nod off in the middle of their conversation and Kitagawa notices that he has fallen asleep, she declares her unbounded love for him. And this is where the anime ends. Since you remained with us until the end, it shows that you enjoyed the recap. If so, then give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you soon in my next video. And until then, be sure to remain goofy and hydrated. Bye bye.